Hey guys, Craig here. Just a quick review on the final review on the f15. It's the 1/48 scale Revell f15 Striking Eagle. It's straight out of the box, nothing special about it at all. In regards to no photo etch or anything like that, it's literally just straight out of the box. For those that have noticed already, there's a wire coming out the back of the base there. The aircraft is actually fully lit. So starting with the base, it's just basically a picture frame. I've had a high definition picture of Baghdad put on there, so it looks as though the plane's flying over Baghdad. This isn't glass, it's perspex or clear styrene, whichever way you want to look at it. Mounting pole with the electric connectors going into the actual aircraft itself. So moving on to the plane. The overall plane's finished in dark sea grey as per the instructions. It's been weathered to the extent where it's got shadows, the shadowing done, and highlights done on the panels using the dark sea grey with a drop of black and a drop of white, giving you that colour variation. It's also had the panel lines done with oils. So you've got the Arbet Lung 502 Starship Filth oils that I used there to give you the panel lining. Pops out the detail pretty good, and into all the vents and everything. With regards to the exhausts, as you can see, I've used AK Interactive's Duraminium, which is sort of like a warmed up metal sort of look, as you can see. It's not quite aluminium, it's got different colours going on in there, blues and greens, just like the aluminium has been warmed up from the engines. The exhausts themselves, these have been done with, again, AK Interactive's jet exhaust paint. It's also been done with hot metal, and it's also got the Duraminium on there as well for the silvery streaks and that. Quite a lot of detail has gone into the actual thought on the nozzles from Revell. I'm quite impressed with it. However, the instructions for this kit are not so easy to follow. When it comes to these jet exhausts, it gives you very basic pictures on how the parts go together. They could be a lot better, to be perfectly honest. But other than that, the exhausts, they're actually pretty detailed for straight out the box. So you can see that there. The cockpit's been fully lit, which you'll see shortly. So if I quickly turn the lights on, what you should see, is it's got all the control panels on the insides of the sides of the cockpit in the rear. Same on the front, you can't really tell, you can just about see them through the canopy on this side, and a little bit on that side, for the undercarriage and everything. It's also got the hood and everything in the back for the co-pilot. So all his hoods, and you can just about see the little dials and that underneath there, all fully lit up. Because of the type of LEDs I've been using, I'm getting a lot of J.J. Abrams flare lens on that, but all the little TV screens are lit up. Again, the control panels on the sides in there are lit up. The footwells are lit up. If this camera will focus, which it's not doing that well. That's probably the best I'm going to get it. Also at the front, the actual hood itself is lit up. You can just see it glowing white with a couple of green lines that I've put on there. But you'll see that a little bit better when I turn the lights out. I've also cut out the lights on the wings here. Put red LEDs into there. And at the back, I've got flickering LEDs. As you can see, there's some cotton wool up there. So it looks as though the aircraft's actually got a bit of movement in it. And it's actually trying to fly away on afterburner. So that's basically what I've done to the actual kit itself. Overall thoughts on the progress is, yeah, it's a nice kit. Fits really good. There are a couple of things that I don't particularly like about it. The first ones are Revell could have quite easily have cut them out and put some clear parts in there to make them look a lot neater. I've had to cut them out with X-Acto knife and then used Formula 560 to fill the recesses in to get the LEDs in behind. A couple of other little bugbears. The wings, these are all a solid cast one piece. So the problem with that is the nav lights I couldn't actually light because the wings are so thin. I couldn't put a channel down or put any wiring down or even fibre optics to put into the wingtips. And had these have been two pieces, I could have probably got the luminescent panels on the wings there to light up green as well. The luminescent panels on the cockpit, these ones here, I couldn't do anything with that lighting wise, purely because there's just not enough space underneath there once the cockpit's in. The lighting for this control panels on the sides are 1.8mm green LEDs. Once they were in, there was just absolutely no space to do anything with these. But I would have liked to light them as well green, so it would have give that little bit of extra realism. Another bugbear, again, another one of my little bugbears, is the rear pylons here. These are all a single one-piece cast wing. But because of that, again, the marker lights at the top here, the wings are so thin, as you can tell by the photo there, or the video there. Again, I couldn't run any wiring or any fibre optics or any lighting or anything to put into these, so these are just going to be left how they are. And the other one, two more things reference this kit that I'm not particularly keen on. On the canopy, as you can tell, just across the centre of the canopy, it's got the mould line going all the way down there. I'll try and zoom that in a little bit better. Let's do it that way. So there you go, all the way down the centre. I've had to leave that on there because I wasn't entirely sure how I was going to get rid of that without destroying the canopy. I've never seen that before on a clear canopy, a seam line going all the way down the middle. I'm sure they could have done it a little bit better where you didn't have that issue. But that's one of the big issues that I really don't like with this kit. And the last one is the decals on the actual kit themselves. Yeah, they're detailed, but in a lot of places, as you can see up here, there is a little bit of silvering going on. It's pretty much on all the decals, to be honest. You can tell that they're decals rather than painted on, like on the wings. You can see the silvering coming through, and the ones where it really does show, on this side, if I zoom in on the Tiger, you can really see that that's a decal. Oops, going around here, bit of a shame, a little bit of silvering coming through here. To be fair, it does look a lot worse on camera than it does in the flesh, but it's one of those things. I know that it's there, so it's one of those things I'm just going to have to put up with. The decals could have been a lot better. Other than that, the kit is absolutely fantastic. A lot of detail put into it. A lot of detail in the relevant places. It turns into a really nice model. Like I said, the only biggest bugbear of mine is that seam going across the canopy. It just lets the whole canopy down. But other than that, that's my f15. So what we'll do now, I'll turn the lights out so you can really get to the gist of the lighting that's going on. So if you give us 2 seconds. Oops. Let's turn the lights out. So there's the red lights on the markers or the wings. There's a HUD lit up in the front of the cockpit, kind of glowing greeny white. Let's try and come around here without falling over. You can see in the rear the HUDs and everything lit up for the co-pilot in the back, and you can see all the little dials underneath them all glowing up. In the pilot's area, you can see all the HUDs and that lit up again. In the front, all 3 screens. You've got all the little lights on the control panels on the side, on both sides, so there's some on that side as well. Same in the back there, and a couple on the other side as well. And then at the back, with the flickering LEDs, there's the afterburners kicking in. So as you can see, it looks as though the afterburners are actually firing away, and the thing's actually flying. Oops, it's all gone up. So that's my f15 build. Hope you guys liked what I've done with it. Any comments or any questions, please feel free to ask. And I'll update you on whatever build I'm doing next. Thanks a lot, guys.